All right. Hey, everybody. What is going on? My name is Vitaly Dubinin. I live in Israel, and I'm so honored, so excited, and so grateful to actually share with you about revolutionary quantum technology that can actually help you in so many ways to feel well. And I have with me a very special guest. I have, first of all, Dr. Cook himself, who actually created this quantum technology. He's right there. We have Ron Spence and Idomi Iron, my friend from Israel, right here with me. And I gotta tell you guys, the first time that I heard about this, I was like, really? How does it work? Is it even possible? Like, it's some kind of information downloading from the cloud? Like, I mean, I heard about quantum technology a couple of years ago, really never dove into it. I don't understand it. So I was a little skeptical. But when my friend told me that he put on energy and like didn't turn it off for 3 days, and then he told me he found himself in the gym at 3 a.m. in the morning working out, you know, twice a day. I'm like, really? You know, that's incredible. And then he told me that his wife had insomnia for many years, like her entire life. He would go into the room and she would wake up from little small noises, and when she would sleep quantum energy, like, she sleeps like a baby. He walks into the room and she doesn't wake up. You know, it's the first time that he ever experienced that. And he also told me he put on weight and then his appetite went down and he lost actually 8 pounds in a week. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And then there is my other friend, Jamil, who actually had asthma, and he like used an inhaler every day. And now like he put an allergy and he stopped using an inhaler. And it was like a miracle, you know, like, wow, this is incredible. Another friend of mine had a type 2 diabetes, and he actually had this nerve pain for 5 years, and he felt it every day. And when he put on pain relief, like, he stopped feeling the pain. Like, it was like, I can't explain it, but it must be this quantum energy that I've set up. It's been going on like this for a week. And for me, myself, I experienced it myself personally. Like, I put on sleep, I sleep very deep, and I like 6 hours and I'm refreshed. Or when I put on energy, I feel so much energy throughout the day. Like, I cannot even explain it. And, you know, yesterday I ate something and I had some stomach pains with the things that I ate, and I put on digestions, and a couple hours later, I feel good, I feel okay. So, you know, that got me really excited, really intrigued, because, you know, obviously nobody in Israel knows about this, and only a handful of thousands of people, I can guess, you know, that are actually using this technology with our company Limbic Arc. And very few people actually knows about this technology and use it. And my intention is to spread this message to the world, to bring in thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to use this technology. And for this purpose, we are here to learn more about this technology, how it works. I have a lot of very interesting questions to ask Dr. Cook, and I'm sure that you're going to get a lot of value from it. And after this call, you know, you will not have any doubts about, wow, this technology exists and it can actually help you change your life. So this is what we are going to do here. I'm super excited. And to start it off, you know, Dr. Cook, what is your name? I know Dr. Cook is the family name.
Vaughn. My first name is Vaughn.
Vaughn, okay. So Dr.
Yes.
Vaughn, can you tell us what is Limbic Arc in a nutshell? Like what's its purpose?
The purpose of Limbic Arc is to create a quantum field effect with information that will have an impact on the quality of your life. That's really its purpose. Because of the experiences people have with it, it would be easy for someone to think that we're really interested in diagnosing or treating disease, right? But that's not its function. Its function is to improve quality of life.
I'm all about improving quality of life for people. Anything that can help. And it's really can summarize it, the purpose of the company very well. Now, how did you start Limbic Arc? Like, what drove you? What inspired you, what motivated you to wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to start this and I'm going to help transform people's lives?
It actually is a journey that's taken over 35 years. I've been involved in energy medicine for that long. And I came to energy medicine because I had an experience with technology similar to what we do with Limbic Arc. Although 35 years ago, we didn't have computers that are as capable or as easy to deal with as we do now.
Right.
But it's just, Vitaly, it's just that evolution of getting involved with it and staying with it. And I incorporated it clinically. I've developed a lot of different technology that's used all over the world, and Limbic Arc just happens to be the most recent.
Oh, wow. So can you tell us a bit more about your background and what you were doing like in the last 10, 20 years, like in the energy medicine field?
Well, I've got a company, which is a sister company to Limbic Arc. The name of that company is Zyto, spelled Z-Y-T-O. Mm-hmm. And we build energy technology as well. Basically, both of these companies are software companies. But the technology that is built in the Zyto side is used by health professionals to analyze a lot of data points very quickly and then connect the dots so that you can make a diagnosis more quickly. Mm-hmm. The outcome or the offshoot of that is Limbic Arc, and Limbic Arc started actually with a phone call. Ron Spence and I go back a lot of years. We've been friends for probably 20 years, 25 years maybe. Mm-hmm. And one day Ron called me and he said, "Hey, I've got some technology. Do you think you could do something like this?" And we got together and I said, "Hey, we can do it better than what you're describing here." And that was the impetus of Limbic Arc. And then we got our heads together and decided, let's build it and let's attack the market in this way. And Vitaly, here we are today.
Wow, that is amazing. So you had this actual product, the Zyto company, that you say many healthcare professionals are using this. And is it like a similar technology of what we are doing with Limbic Arc, or it's a physical machine? Like what is it really?
It's a physical machine and software. So it's not Limbic Arc. It's not what Limbic Arc does. But it's kind of the foundation. I mean, the technology that I started to build 35 years ago is really the foundation of what we have today with Limbic Arc.
Okay.
So if somebody says is this new technology, it is new technology, but it really has a genealogy that goes back for decades.
Yeah, we build technology on previous technologies, obviously.
Exactly. Exactly.
But you see what we do here as unique, like something that people have not experienced or cannot go and experience in any other way. Is that right?
Absolutely. That's correct.
Okay, perfect. So now one of the most important questions, I think, how this actually works, how this quantum technology really works in a simple language, something that people can watch, listen, and understand, because I know that we can, talk about it in a very complicated way. Can you describe it in a simple way? And also, like, is there any physical equipment used? Like, how does quantum energy works?
Well, how does it work? At an energetic level, we're all connected in a more literal sense than we realize, and that's the quantum field. And what we've done is we have created a library that's stored in the cloud. Mm-hmm. And when you create your Limbic Arc account, you basically give us the field address where you are. So if you're in Israel, and it's not like we know your address at home, mm-hmm. but in a quantum sense, we know how to direct the information then to you specifically and not to your neighbor or the guy sitting next to you. So because we're all connected and because we all live in this field, it's called the 0 point field,
Mm-hmm.
What we've created then is a way to tap into that field and scan for, using the voice spark scan that we have, we can scan for library items or information items and then send those to you through the field. And because of the field effect, it actually impacts you at an energetic level. And that's why you feel these effects like you described early on, why people are having better experience with sleep, for example, or energy. It's because we're providing information that they may be missing, and their bodies pick up on that information and function more intelligently, for want of a better word.
So you said you have ingredients and nutrients, and you take the energy and information from it and store it in the cloud. Can you describe a little bit more how does it work, how this process works?
When you take a vitamin, that vitamin, we usually think of vitamins as chemicals because that's how we deliver them.
Yeah.
But the chemical configuration of a particular vitamin, like vitamin C, carries a packet of information. And so when your body sees that configuration, it knows what to do with the vitamin. Information is what is conveyed by an arrangement of things. And so vitamin C has a specific molecular arrangement,
right,
and that arrangement then will convey specific information. What we have done is we have created an information corollary to the vitamin C. And instead of giving you the vitamin C and therefore delivering the information, we give you the vitamin C corollary, and your body implements that, I believe, in a way similar to what would happen if we actually gave you the vitamin C.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the advantages with the energy boost, the info boost, as opposed to the vitamin itself, is the chemicals require physical processing. And if your body is deficient in some way, it may lack the ability to completely process vitamin C, as an example.
Okay.
And so even though you take the vitamin C, you may not be getting all the good of it that you should.
Mm-hmm.
But with the information that we can give you through the info boost, that then tells your body, this is what you're supposed to do with vitamin C. And it goes, oh, I just needed a better instruction set. And bingo, it picks up the vitamin C and you feel better.
It almost sounds like magic.
Well, it's a lot of quantum things do, but usually the things that sound like magic to us are just the things that are new to us, or we don't understand the process. And Limbic Arc, even though it has some strange effects, and people say, wait a minute, how can this possibly happen? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Well, just because it doesn't make any sense or it's new doesn't mean that it's not legitimate, and doesn't mean it's not founded in science.
So it's in the process, right? So with the ingredients and vitamin C as an example, and the information from it, what do you mean by storing it in cloud? Like, is it, how does this information look like? Because help us understand a little bit. Maybe.
Well, the cloud is just a bunch of servers that exist around the world.
Okay.
And we've rented space on a number of those servers,
mm-hmm.
and we load our data. So we have a database stored on multiple servers in different locations around the world.
Okay.
And that's how we deliver the information. So you've created an account with Limbic Arc, Vitaly, and so when you log into your account, you're tapping into that database and saying, hey, here I am, scan me. What shows up positive? Great, I like these things. Load them into my field. And then we have a way in the computer, in the cloud, to cycle that information and direct it into your field. And that's the mechanics of how it works.
Because people at different times of day, they turn it on inside their, using smartphone or laptop, they can
mm-hmm.
turn it on, and it happens like that. So they're tapping that information that is stored all automatically. It's not like somebody is sitting there.
No. It's The Limbic Arc app is a web app. So when you log into your app, you're actually logged into your account on the server, and you're controlling that account. You're controlling the server through your app on your phone or your computer, however you're accessing it.
And you can buy the information about the person when he signs up, and also his voice pattern. You can know how to direct that specifically to that person energetically.
That's correct. Yeah. The Spark scan, excuse me, the Spark scan gives us the ability to determine or get a better idea which of these, what of the information on the database you would respond most positively to. And in order to initiate that Spark scan, we have to have some real-time biometric input. And so we take your voice, so we have you talk for just a few seconds, and then we show you some targets on your screen, and you touch those targets, and between the voice and your response, that gives us the biometric information we need to then initiate the Spark, and then the scan is run, and we can rank the items, the boost ingredients, to tell you which ones you're responding most positively to.
Okay, and this is very important also, this touching to the process of
yes, the voice is the combination of the voice and the response with the touching.
Because the voice, I know it's very unique to people. Everybody has a different voice, and you instruct people to specifically talk about themselves. Why is that important?
Well, because I'm glad you asked this, because I'll tell you a trick while we're here. The primary reason we tell them that is because I want the Spark scan results to reflect the benefit that I need. And so that's why I need to talk about myself. Voice is actually topic specific. When I speak about myself, my voice is different than if I speak about the weather, or I speak about a friend of mine, or I speak about some situation in the world. Because you speak about yourself, now you're getting boosts that actually relate to you. The thing that the trick I wanted to share with you is, if you, let's say you have a cold. I'm just getting over a cold. I don't know if you can tell that with my voice, but when I go in and want to prepare an info boost, like the immune info boost, and I want to tweak it to make it a little more specific for my situation, what I talk about is I have a cold. So I talk about my cold, and that will then bias the scan towards whatever topic it is that I'm speaking of. Gotcha. So let's say that you had let's say you had an argument with a friend. Let's say you had an argument with your wife, and you wanted to do an info boost to help you be a better person, and not argue with your wife. You could actually talk about I have a tendency to argue with my wife. We seem to not respect each other for whatever reason, like we should. And by talking about that, you'll actually bias the scan in the direction of giving you the ingredients, the boost ingredients that will actually impact that aspect of whatever you're talking about.
And is this technology something that you patented for? Like a patented technology?
We're applying for a patent for the Spark scan. That's a piece of new technology that is patentable. So yeah, there will be patents that'll come out around Limbic Arc.
And there are other technology, like quantum biology. I think that's how the field is called, right? It's not something new. A lot of research has been done on quantum biology.
Yes, and there's a lot of research done on on every aspect. One of the challenges with Limbic Arc is we take different sciences or different technologies and we combine them, and so it creates a package that doesn't matter who you are, it can look like it's new to you or strange. But there's a lot of research about every aspect of what's gone into Limbic Arc.
In your videos, you talk a lot about 0-point field. What is that?
Well, everything has a field. So a field is a sphere of influence. So you have a field, and I have a field, and the country of Israel has a field, and we're speaking English. The English language has a field. So everything has a field. It has a sphere of influence, and there's a place where all of the fields meet, and that meeting place is called the 0 point field. The reason that it's called that is because everything in that field sums to 0. In other words, everything is opposed in some way by something else, or everything is constrained in some way by something else. And those constraints, or those points of opposition, if you sum them, they sum to 0. And the significance of that is, if you change your sphere of influence, or your posture of influence, you actually create a perturbation in the 0 point field, and the 0 point field will shift to accommodate you, because it has to adjust itself back to 0. And so you've probably heard about if you can set your intent and focus hard enough, you'll eventually achieve your intent. Well, that's the way it works, is if I focus my intent, I will then create this energetic perturbation in the field, and the universe will adjust to balance everything back to 0, and it usually results in the manifestation of my intent.
Like
so the 0 point field, pardon me?
Like the law of attraction, like we attract what we think about. And,
exactly.
Yeah.
The law of attraction is exactly that.
And it's not like a point, like a 0 point field is in Utah or in some other country. Like
no, it's everywhere and everywhere. So it's not bounded by time or space. It's just where all the fields converge.
And you use that in your technology, that 0 point field, to direct the energy, right?
That's correct. Yeah. So because we're all in that 0 point field, we then scan for the appropriate information, and then send that to essentially your location in the 0 point field. I don't know that that's exactly correct, but you get the point. It's the information goes to you. It doesn't go to somebody else.
Well, before we go any further in discussing quantum energy, let's just do a reset, everybody, in case you are in the last 5 minutes, like, they're like, what the heck is quantum energy? I think mostly people watching this, and everybody, they want to know, how it can benefit me, how it can help me change my life, how it can help me in my day-to-day, how this technology, they don't need to understand how this actually works, like we don't need to understand how the lights and electricity work and stuff like that. Most importantly for people is how they can use it. So I want to ask you, what are your most inspiring stories of people who changed their life with this technology? People, real life situation, real people that you witnessed over time, and what they told you, how they feel, like how they transform. I want to hear, and everybody likes to hear more of these stories. Can you tell us, some of your most inspiring examples?
I've used this technology in a different form in a clinical setting. And I may have told this story before. I'll tell it quickly. I remember a woman who came into my practice several years ago, and she was, as I went through the health history and the exam and everything, she basically was showing all of the signs of scurvy. And so I started to inquire about her diet. Are you getting enough vitamin C? And she was eating plenty of food with vitamin C in it. She was actually supplementing with vitamin C. It didn't make sense that she would be showing scurvy symptoms when her diet was as robust as it was. And when I did a scan, it was a different kind of scan, but it was a different technology. What showed up actually was vitamin C. And so what I did is I gave her, through another mechanism, an info boost for vitamin C. And within about 3 days, all of her symptoms resolved. They all went away. And I think the reason is, as I mentioned earlier, she was getting the chemistry, but for some reason she wasn't processing it correctly. Her body needed the blueprint. And so by giving her the information, her body said, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do with vitamin C. So that's one example. You know, the other, there are lots of examples, but actually, Vitaly, the ones that you told us at the beginning, we're collecting those kinds of experiences faster than I can have them personally. I happen to be fairly energy sensitive. And so when I turn on an info boost, I will almost always feel the effect within 10 to 15 seconds. I don't know that most people are that sensitive. Some people I know will turn it on and they'll say, well, what am I supposed to feel? And that's one of the reasons why I mentioned this trick where you can talk about a specific topic. So if somebody has some pain, for example, instead of just talking about themselves generally, they can talk about their pain. Oh, I have some low back pain that bothers me all the time. That then becomes their voice print, and that will then bias the scan results to direct them to boost ingredients that will have a more profound effect on their pain.
I'd like to hear a couple more, please.
Well, I know Ron has some pretty profound experiences. I know that he, in fact, I was just talking to him a couple of days ago. There he is, a smiling face. Ron, why don't you tell us about Lomatia and your experience with your asthma?
You bet. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, you know, I've had two major experiences. In the very beginning, I created a formula, if you will, by accident. And the results were I've had ringing in my ears for about 8 years, nonstop. Some people call it tinnitus because of other things. But nevertheless, that went away after 2 hours of me turning on this particular formulation. Then that happened a year ago, but what's happened over the last 3 to 4 months has been more amazing. That's when we've been using the voice-activated spark scan. And so each couple weeks, I run a new one, and my body improves and it comes more into balance. But the thing that happened, for the last 10 years, I've had asthma, and every year it gets a little bit worse. So it's been concerning to me. But since I've been using the spark scan every couple weeks, in the last about 4 months, all my asthma symptoms are totally gone. I mean, I don't have any signs of it whatsoever. And it was concerning to me because I could see every year it was getting worse. And now I don't have any signs at all. And the only thing I've done different in my life is the voice-activated spark scan. So for me, my body is receiving something in the information energy field that's actually reprogramming and helping my body process this information in such a way that it's making it more efficient. And those deficiencies that I have apparently are not there because I don't have any signs whatsoever of these symptoms anymore.
Wow, that's amazing.
Now,
Vitaly, let me interject here really quick. The disclaimer again, the intent of Limbic Arc is not to cure Ron's asthma in this case. We've really designed this as a wellness tool, and our objective is to improve quality of life. So I think that that's been accomplished in Ron's case with the asthma.
Oh,
something happened.
Was you?
There we go. Sorry to jump out like that. I had a phone call that interrupted me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, I understand that, and that's one of the things that we will touch base on in a few minutes about how to share about this and the FDA and that stuff. So good that you mentioned that.
I like to add something about using, right?
Pardon?
Yeah, actually, me by myself, I also started using it about a week ago after I heard what Vitaly wrote when he was abroad in the States. I told him, what is it? So he told me, and I started using it. Actually, I'm a healer by myself, a part of the entrepreneurship that I'm doing for the last 15 years. In the last 3 years, I'm a Theta healing practitioner and instructor, so I do feel the healing. And actually, after I just started the info boost, even while I talk to Vitaly, who guide me what to do, I told him, oh, I feel something is happening, like of feeling doing it by myself or getting from someone abroad, the same. What I like to ask is actually, at the same time, we can use free info boost. So from time to time, like the first day, I also put on the energy, and I was really exhausted this day. It was weekend, and I find myself going to sleep at 2 o'clock and wake up at 6 o'clock. And day later, Vitaly told me, oh, stop the energy at night and turn on the sleep mode. So
Okay.
actually what I like to ask, that each info boost we see that is good for a time, 5 days, 6 days, 3 days. So if I change between them, like I put some free kinds and then I have a pain, so I want to use the pain relief. So to stop, to turn on another one, how does it affect?
Well, it's appropriate to do that. You can use, you can use those intermittently. The way I use Limbic Arc is I will always have an info boost going. And so I call that my constitutional info boost. And then as things come up, just as you described, I'll go in and do a second, sometimes a third. I usually only do 1 or 2, but I'll always have my constitutional one running. It's kind of like, it's probably because I have some background in homeopathy. And in homeopathy, there's such a thing called a constitutional remedy. It's the remedy that helps you be your better self, essentially. And I think that by running an info boost in the background just helps me constitutionally. But yes, you can use it for a chronic situation. You can use it for an acute situation.
No, but when I stop the info boost in the middle, like after 2 days, so
that's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
I'm sure it's okay because it's not a drug or something like that should affect me.
Awesome.
What about the effect? So I'd say it's like 6 days or 5 days or 7 days.
That's really just up to you. If, let's say you start one for energy and your energy goes up and you say, whoa, I've got too much energy, you might want to go in and shut it down. Or maybe if you have insomnia, you want to turn the sleep one on and leave it on for 14 days until your body can acclimate to a new pattern. It's just really up to you. And turning them on and off is appropriate.
And why actually is only 3 at the same time, not more?
The reason we did that is because you can get pretty much everything you need in 3, and sometimes more isn't better. When I run a scan, I'll sometimes select 10, maybe 12 items, 12 ingredients to include in the boost. But if I see some really profound items on the top, I'll just take those 2 or 3 items, and that's what I include in the boost. You don't have to throw everything at yourself all at once. In fact, I think that sometimes confuses the body, and you get better results if you just are more precise in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right.
Before we continue, I would like to have Carl to share his experience with Limbic Arc. I know he has a amazing story and results to share. Carl, why don't you will come up and share for a minute what you experienced?
Sure. By the way, Dr. Cook, thank you very much for creating this. I suffer from diabetic nerve pain, and it's, anybody who has it knows how excruciatingly painful it can be. It used to wake me up in the middle of the night. And, when Daniel on here showed me this, you got to think quantum energy, this is like Looney Tunes stuff. People kind of think about, right? So I decided to try it, and within probably less than 24 hours, and I've been on this thing now for 9 days, I have not had the pain for 9 days straight. Okay? And to me, this is worth every penny I have to pay, because doctors couldn't give me medication or creams or anything to get rid of that. I've tried everything, and I've spent hundreds of dollars on stuff to try and get rid of it. Okay? The second thing is I don't handle stress very well. I had a major breakdown years ago, and ever since then, I haven't handled stress very well, right? Daniel and both Vitaly can contest to how I can go off the wall stressful when just a minor thing comes up. So I put the stress thing on, and I'm going through this season. My kids are coming in from all over the place. They drove through snowstorms and everything. Normally, I'd be stressed out of my mind, and no matter how much I try to think about it, I couldn't stress myself out. And that is like the craziest thing. I mean, I can't explain it. I don't care to have to figure it out. I'm just glad it works. Okay? Now, one last thing I have to ask you. When we're selecting these things, because I've gone through a lot of them and I've tried a few of them, they always have a certain amount of ingredients that are attached to it. I guess that's how you build them, right? But then sometimes they'll have like a whole lot of other things. I mean, do we bother adding extra stuff, or is that thing designed with all the right ingredients that we shouldn't touch them?
No. So here's how it's built. The Info Boost for pain, as an example, is we took items that have a known impact on pain, and we grouped them together and said, okay, if you're gonna use something, here's a good place to start. Well, when you then go in and do the voice spark scan, we actually scan the entire library, and then you look at the ingredients that show up. And the ones at the top are the ones that we have put into the pain Info Boost in this case. But then if you scroll down, you'll see here's the rest of the library down here. Exactly. So what I'll do is for example, I did the immune Info Boost just recently because of my cold. So I did the scan. I then took the top items from the immune category. Then I scrolled down and I noticed there were a few items here that actually scored higher than the ones at the top on the immune ingredients. So I took 2 or 3 of those and included them, and that's what I activated when I turned on the Info Boost.
Okay, so when I go and look, because I was looking at the, which one did I activate? I can't remember which one I activated today. Oh, the energy. Okay, so I activated energy for today because
I wondered where all this energy was coming from.
Okay,
I wondered where all this energy was coming from.
Well, I'm telling you, I activated it today because I've got a whole house load of people coming today, and I'm going to need it with grandkids and everything. But I noticed there's a whole lot of vitamins there. Now, when I'm marketing this to people and sharing my results and everything with them, and they go in and they see all this stuff, is there an issue if they don't know what they're doing and they click the all button and they get them all in there? Like, could that counter the problem? See, I worry about that because in the energy there was probably like 70 additional ones that you could add to that. And if someone just goes, well, I don't know what these things are, and they just click the all button, right?
Yeah. I don't know that would create a problem.
Okay.
And I say that with a little bit of caution because you could have some negative effect. But
you know how people really are. They're just button pressures, right? They'll just click, think, okay, I got them all. Everything should work now, right?
Well, and it's kind of like if let's say you came to me and said, hey, I've got this neuropathy, I've got this diabetic pain. And I say, well, you can do this, or 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 this, or this, or this, or this. And I give you 20 things, and you look at that and go, this is just too much information. I don't know what to do. I don't even know where to start. I think you can do the same thing to your body. I think you can give your body so much information that it just goes,
can't process it all.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with this. It's too much. And that's why what I like to do is narrow it to a fewer, a small number of items instead of everything. I think that my body responds better, and I get a faster response that way. But if somebody turned the whole thing on, I don't know that it would be a negative effect. It would just be, too much information, I think.
Okay. Well, I just know how people are, and they might just go, well, I don't know what all this stuff is, and I click this.
Yeah.
So is there going to be something down the road? Sorry for taking up the extra time, Vitaly, but is there going to be anything down the road where it might explain what each, like you might group them or something and say this is what would be best for this certain energy boost or anything like that? Because it really doesn't explain that on there.
Right. We're actually always updating the app and the system. Right now, we're in the process of organizing the library so that it's a little bit more manageable and makes more sense to really address what you're talking about there. Okay. Those kinds of things don't just happen the day we want them to be there, but we're actually working on that right now.
Okay. And one last thing. You mentioned in here, I'll let you go in a second, Vitaly. I don't mean to take over your call. But
we have actually, I'll leave the space for more specific questions and then, because you're asking very specific ones, and I have a lot more to cover, okay? And
okay. Sorry about that.
I wanted to let Daniel talk for a couple minutes about his experience with this.
Hey, Vitaly, thank you. And thank you, Dr. Cook, for creating this. And I guess I'm going to get real here. I think of myself as an optimist and positive person, but when Jamil shared this with me, I was 100% certain that this was not going to work. Like I knew this was not going to work. I even planned to cancel it after 3 days, but I joined because Jamil's a friend of mine. And I went in there and I set up the app. I did the voice for 10 seconds and I chose energy and I just left it. I did it on my computer and I just forgot about it. And anyway, after 3 days, I canceled it because that was my plan. The 4th day, Jamil calls me up and says, I see you're doing this. I said, yeah. And I thought it wasn't working until we got on this call, and I was on a call with Jamil and Dino. And Dino was explaining how it works and everything. And I said, I don't even want to know the science behind it. If it works, it works. And if it doesn't, he said, maybe you set it up wrong. What did you do? And he said he put on, I said, I put on energy. And he stopped me and said, well, you're not supposed to have energy on 24/7. And the light bulb went on. I just went through the last 4 days in my head. I couldn't sleep. I was getting 1 to 2 hours sleep a day. I remember one specific time I was at the gym at 3 in the morning, wide awake, wondering what's going on. I did one of the best workouts I've ever done in my life. Like I had so much energy. It was crazy. And so I knew it worked then. And it was really easy to cancel, but it was also really easy to reactivate. I just pressed a button. I didn't even have to talk to anybody. After I found out it was working, I tried weight loss because I've been wanting to lose some weight. I did it at night. The next day I woke up, I had no hunger pains at all. Like usually I wake up hungry. I wasn't hungry. And I've had this on the weight loss for about 10 days. I've lost 6 pounds and I've had no appetite. I still eat, but my servings are much smaller. I usually have the biggest serving, and I've been having the same size serving as my 3.5-year-old. And last night, I used sleep. For the first time, I tried the sleep info boost. It was one of the best sleeps I've ever had. And this is coming from a very skeptical person who's not skeptical about this anymore. I'm very excited about it.
And your wife had insomnia, right? Your wife had insomnia and she sleep.
My wife has insomnia. We've been married 4.5 years. We've known each other 5 years. And she sleeps a few hours a day and that's it. And she turned on the sleep. And every time I walk in the room, she's either up or she wakes up, especially if I say anything, but she usually wakes up before that. She had sleep on for 3 days in a row. I walked in, she didn't wake up. I said, Nikane, are you sleeping? Nothing. She was like in a deep sleep. I couldn't believe it. for 3 days. I come in the 4th day. She wakes up. I said, "You don't have your sleep info boost on." And she said, "No, I don't." I could tell right away. Like, I noticed the difference. It was huge.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's very inspiring, Daniel. Thank you for sharing this. And I'd like to also to hear Jamil for a couple minutes. Jamil, can you come on and share your story, your experience? Unmute audio. There you go.
Absolutely. Thank you, Vitaly, for having me. Thanks, Dr. Cook, for showing up here. Appreciate everything. Oh my gosh, all these different testimonials is blowing me away. I just had a crazy testimonial for you guys from my wife today. Actually, she's been trying to edit a video, right? So she's been putting on focus on her app. So for the very first time, she took an interest in learning how to edit videos, right? So for the last 24 hours straight, she's been having energy on and focus. And she's just been focused on learning how to edit a video. I mean, she watched so many tutorials on YouTube, and now she's completed a video for the first time ever editing a video. And this is a real estate agent, law student person. So just to see her even try to go in this direction is like mind blowing. I'm like, "Oh, have you been asleep?" No, I'm gonna get this done. So she used focus. She got the stuff done, and she finally uploaded her first video on YouTube. So that was amazing. Just
what about you, Jamil?
Oh, myself. My story is this: I have asthma, and I knew that if I was to take a slice of pizza, it will flare up my asthma. So what happened was I ordered some pizza. I took a slice. Normally I would stand away from pizza because I'm trying to lose weight and all this other stuff, right? So I ordered some pizza for my kids. I took a slice, and then I had a webinar going on. So I turned on the allergy right afterwards. And normally after I have a slice of pizza, I have to go for my inhaler and like kind of take a puff or so. But I went on to my Zoom meeting. It lasted about 20 or 30 minutes. And then right after it was done, I by reaction, I just reached for my inhaler and I started breathing. I'm like, wait a minute. This is clear. I don't even need it. So at that point, I was like, it's working. And that really got me excited. Like, wait a minute, let me just test it some more. Maybe it's a fluke or something. But no, it really kicked in. And for the last few days, I did take my inhaler once the other day, but it was pretty dusty where I was located. But as far as I can tell right now, this allergy stuff is working. I'm feeling really energized with the energy boost and everything. So, man, I'm excited about this.
So you've not been using the inhaler only once in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I used probably 2 times after I took the allergy. But, again, I was born with asthma, and, so it's always been in me. So right now it's like tremendously dropped to 2 times out of normally using it every single day, so yeah, that's shocking to me right now.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing this, Jamil. We can go on like this for a long time, sharing stories. I would like to also get into some other things, important things to discuss here. First of all, I want to ask you, Dr. Cook, about your vision. What is your vision of the company over the next few years?
Well, I think that we can turn this into a $1 billion company very quickly. The advantage we have is, first of all, we have a technology that does work. The other advantage is we can deploy this anywhere in the world instantaneously. And we built the system. We've actually built our technology to handle exponential growth. So if we had 1,000 people sign up this morning, it would not strain the system at all. So we have a lot of advantages because of how this technology works and how it's delivered. I think that the sky is the limit.
So you want to create $1 billion company over the next few years?
Well, I think we should do it. I say we, it's all of us.
And have millions of people using this. using this technology around the world?
Yes. Yep.
Well, when did it start? Like the Limbic Arc? Is it a couple months ago?
No, we're actually into it about 2 years. And you know, we're actually into it 35 years plus, because this is just a continuation. And the Zyto company, I organized that about 16 years ago. So our foundation is very solid with this company. And because we've been into this 2 years now, I think we figured out most of the pitfalls or most of the challenges you have with direct sales. And
in the last 2 years, you've modified and tweaked some things. I think you introduced the Spark Scan not from the beginning, but recently. Is that right?
That's correct. Initially, we released this as a resident app that sat on your phone, but we very quickly realized that we would not be able to keep up with the growth if we stayed with that model. And so we moved to a web-based app, which allows us to manage and you know, provide service on a much more robust level. So yeah, the advantage of being a software company is we know what we're doing. We've done it before, and so it's our wheelhouse.
Yeah, and you can access this from a smartphone or laptop, and once you activate a certain info boost or a benefit, like you can turn it off. You can take your smartphone, put it away, close the websites, and go, and it will still work, right?
That's correct, because you've accessed the cloud, and whether my phone is turned on or not, the cloud is still active and is still sending that information to me through the field effect.
So right now, what I see and everybody sees inside the app is a certain collection of ingredients that provide a certain benefit. Like, for example, allergy is one of them, pain relief, stress relief, vision, weight, sleep, energy, focus, all of this. And I know there is some custom also, like you can do a custom one. And Ron was mentioning to me that you are working on adding new ingredients, creating different combinations and stuff like that. So you're going to expand the library and formulations and formulas into the future?
Yes. Yeah, we're always adding new things to the library. As I mentioned before, we're in the process of organizing the library in a way that's a little bit more navigational, a little more user-friendly. That will come out over the next several weeks. You'll see some changes. So the answer is yes. The library continues to grow. We continue to add new things and organize them, new info boosts.
Okay, and there is some info boost like anti-aging. Like I would imagine that stuff would not like one day and somebody will be young. You know, there's certain things that takes more time to feel, right?
Yes. Well, and anti-aging is really it's an approach to life where you enjoy vitality and youthful vigor for more years. And that's what's called anti-aging. It's not that you chronologically turn back the clock, because if you live, 100 years, you're going to be 100 years old no matter how much vitality you have. But if you feel like a 50-year-old when you're 100, that's the objective. That's the quality of life we're after with that info boost.
Got you. And allergy, like, there's different kinds of allergy, and you put a certain library of ingredients that are the same, but people have different types of allergies. Is it like something universal that can help different types of allergies?
Ron, you want to say something there?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's interesting. When you do enough research, you'll discover that most illnesses and disease can be traced to digestion not working on all 8 cylinders. And so if you look at improving the gut, you find out the science is showing that many people who have allergies and asthma and things like that can be tied to the microbiome in the gut not being there or being up to speed. And so there's a lot of science now that suggests that, you have aches and pains, you have allergies, asthma, all these things can be tied to really repairing the gut. And we do so many things in our modern society that disrupts gut. So we have info boosts in there that, for the microbiome, for gut health and detox, all these things have an impact on other parts of your health, like asthma and allergies. And so it's not self-explanatory. If someone taking a gut info boost would many times will have an improvement in some of these other areas because they're trying to improve their gut. And remember, 70% of our immune response comes from the gut. And so when you have the right microbiome, in fact, in recent research are showing that when you're missing certain microbiome, certain probiotics in your gut, you'll become heavier. But when you have these microbiotics into your gut, you actually become, less heavy. And so they're doing, it's just a lot of new research that they're doing that's creating a lot of interest. So when we have a title in there, people need to try out all these and see what happens, because that's the reason why I like the voice activated spark scan, because it actually directs your attention, your body's attention, to what it needs the most. And for me, I'm getting the best results with that. And by the way, guys, I wanted to share with you the things, because we talk a lot about sensitive things here. On all for example, I do conference calls twice a week, and everybody's invited to that. But I always do a disclaimer on there when we talk about these kind of things. We don't want to get people the wrong impression. And I want to just read that to you, because I think it's so important. I say that all information that I share with you is commentary or opinion and is protected under free speech laws. And most of this information is based on my personal experiences, as well as my interpretations of current science, and is provided for educational and entertainment purposes only, and it is not intended as a substitute for professional advice of any kind, nor any of the product services that are discussed intended to diagnose, treat, or cure, or prevent any disease. And I say that because we just need to protect ourselves when we go out there, because everybody gets excited about, and I can tell you, as a master affiliate, I get calls every day from people sharing with me the kind of experience we've been sharing here today, even more significant. We can't really tell those third-party experiences, but we have a lot of people. I mean, these are doctors, medical doctors, sharing their experiences, and it's amazing. They're just surprised, like, oh my gosh, how does this happen? And so we can share these experiences that we have, but we have to be careful not to, cross over the line and make people think we're diagnosing and prescribing.
Okay, fair enough. Awesome. And I just want to share with you guys, there is a lot of things that are here right now as a collection that can help you. There is allergy, anti-aging, there is calm, to help people relax the body and calm the mind. There is cardiovascular, digestion, energy, focus, hers and his, actually, for a man's and a woman's sexual vitality. I bet you have some experience with that as well, and stories around that as well. Immune, inflammation, multi-nutrition, pain relief, sleep, strength, stress relief, vision, and weight. And for vision, for example, to support eye wellness, I would assume it's going to be a longer process, for several months for you to experience like significant, hopefully, changes in your sight. There is multi-nutrition. I don't know what it means. Maybe you can tell, Dr. Cook, what is multi-nutrition means, and who can possibly turn that and activate that that information.
That would be the equivalent of, I shouldn't say the equivalent of, that would be the informational corollary of taking a multivitamin or a multimineral.
Okay, got you. So it's more vitamins.
Yes.
Nutrients. Got you.
Vitaly?
Yeah.
Just one comment. because you're mentioning all the formulations that are in there, and there's always new ones being created all the time. But we have a lot of practitioners in our company that have their own special herbs and things that they use. And so they experiment with making sure if they're in the library, they'll create their own formulation to address certain things. And when they have success, they pass it on. Now, we don't have that in the company, but Dino and I are creating a new website that will house all those. In fact, we have a lot more formulas that will live on that site than we do in the company, simply because the practitioners can create formulas, custom formulas, faster than the company can create formulas. And so you'll see that come up in the future, that people can go there, kick the tires, try it out, and see if it works for them.
That's actually one of the questions I wanted to ask you. There is any instructions for nutritionists and naturopath and healthcare professionals to create their own combinations of ingredients to achieve certain results for them to, like you're doing? Is it something that you are planning to do, and like should go into those spheres of people who are working with people and help them kind of work with the ingredients and do certain things maybe differently for themselves?
I can address some of that because I interface with a lot of practitioners on a day-to-day basis. Their biggest thing is they want us to include certain ingredients that we don't have in our current inventory, that we have now in another bucket, if you will, that we'll be bringing on in the future as soon as Dr. Cook reorganizes the library, that we could start bringing on more of those, because it allows practitioners to, first of all, identify what they see that they can create their own formula. And if we don't have it in there, they send it to us so we can create it in the new library coming up, so we can expand it. It allows the ability for practitioners to create their own custom boosts for their customers and patients. And then they share it with us, so we get those. We'll place it on another website that people can try as well.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. What else I wanted to ask is, what if people don't feel the difference right away? You know, they turning on a certain thing, maybe an allergy or inflammation or immune, and they say, okay, I cannot feel the difference just yet. Maybe it's the first 24 hours. You know, how can they experience results faster?
I think the first thing I would recommend is to have them talk about what it is they want, where they want to see the results. You know, is it pain? And if it's pain, where is the pain? If it's an allergy, what is the allergy? The other thing I would tell them is, sometimes if you don't have a lot of experience with energy, you're just kind of out of touch with it. And it takes a little while for your body to adapt and for you to actually become sensitive to what's going on. And so I would always advise somebody, get in and try this for at least 5 weeks before you throw it out the door. If in 5 weeks you're absolutely not feeling anything, then it just may not be right, the right thing for you. But a lot of times people just miss it. It's not that they didn't feel something. It's kind of like, was it Daniel that told us about going to the gym, and Jamal calls him and says, hey, don't leave that on all the time. And he goes, oh my gosh, that's right. He wasn't aware what that was. He attributed it to something else. But when he realizes, oh my gosh, that's the info boost I had turned on, now he's back in and he's actually realizing and feeling the experience in a more real-time way. But just because you don't recognize it doesn't mean there's not doing something.
Okay, yeah. So people need to be more attuned to their feelings, more aware, and in some cases, just give it more time for the effects to take place. Maybe something works more faster, like energy, and other things like allergy or inflammation, they can take some longer to feel the effects, right?
Right.
Got you. what would you recommend people in terms of like using the quantum wellness products? Like, would you recommend them to go and create a custom scan right away? Or if they have something specific just to turn, like how would you recommend them to use it?
Well, if you have something specific, you would want to start with that info boost. But then I would always recommend that they run the Spark scan as well as, and then take the items that show up at the top of the list, then scroll down, and if you see items in the general library that have scored higher, take 2 or 3 of those, and that's what you activate. In doing it that way, you get the benefit of the knowledge that went into the creation of the info boost under the title, but you then get the benefit of your body's intelligence, you know, and the scan, and it scores things that may not have been included in that list. And now that makes sense to me, because I can visualize what the app is. If somebody has never seen the app, they'll say, I don't know what he's talking about. But if they go in and actually do that on the app,
actually share them. Once you create a Spark scan, and it will show you this, like for example, boost ingredients, what we were talking about. Now it maybe make more sense to you. Like there's magnesium, 86%, allergen, 81%, apricot kernel oil, 77%, and shiitake mushroom, 76%, right? So what are these percentages? You know, what do they mean?
The percentage means that's called an outcome ratio. And so it means that it scores the top one there, the 80% or whatever it is. It's an 80% probability that it's going to get you the outcome you're interested in. That's essentially what it means. Now if you scroll down, you'll notice on the right here that it checks the top 10.
Yeah,
that's just a default thing. You can go in and click on those individually, and it toggles them on and off. But if you then scroll down further, you'll see at the bottom of this list, you can expand it. So if you click on the down pointing arrow, now what's the score on that top item?
96%.
Okay, so that's an item that's scored higher than anything on the info boost. So I would take that one, and then I would look at, you know, if there's some other things that are scored above 95%, I'd probably take the 95% plus and add them to the things that are included in the info boost.
So essentially, if I would activate the stress relief, for example, and I would take this top 10 by default, and I would add this, this, and this, and this, and this, right? And above 90%, propolis 2, and this one, Turkish rhubarb root, 89%. Included,
you know, and I think that again, this is just a judgment call on the user, on the part of the user. I tend to put in 10 to 12 ingredients into an info boost. So in the case of this one, I might take where you are right now, take the top 5 there, and then go scroll back up and delete maybe the bottom 3 or 4.
Oh, okay. So you say you recommend not to put more than 10.
Well, that's what I do. I usually do 10 to 15 in that range. And sometimes I'll see one, it'll score maybe 98, and the next one is 97, and then the next one drops down to 85. In that case, I'll take the 2 top ones, and that's all I take. I don't take the others.
Okay, so that's what you recommend, 10 to 15. I actually never done that. Maybe I'll start experimenting with that and get even better.
Hey, Vitaly.
Yeah.
One thing everybody should know, but when you're starting to do that voice scan and it's identifying the items by percentage, you can take your cursor, or if you have a touch screen, touch the name that it's, for example, if you have an item there that's 95% and it's, you know, it has a nutrient name, you can actually touch that and it will give you the explanation historically what that's used for historically as a nutraceutical. And so it starts giving you an idea what your body is looking for. It's educational.
Click on that.
Okay.
There you go.
Support for the immune system. Mm-hmm.
And so it starts, if, for example, if you start seeing all this stuff and you see the top 5 or 10 and 6 or 7 of them are about inflammation, then you start realizing, I must have some inflammation going on. And these ingredients are trying to bring my body back into balance to solve that problem.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. Another question I wanted to ask about any scientific studies. Do you have any scientific studies that you have done, something that people can read about this?
We haven't done any studies yet on Limbic Arc specifically. What we will be putting together, Vitaly, is a bibliography. Mm-hmm. And that bibliography will be associated research that's been done, and it'll give people, I think, a lot of information to read there. But we have not done any specific Limbic Arc research studies yet. What we've done has been clinical and been anecdotal so far.
Is there any reason why you have not yet done any studies, and are you planning to do any scientific body of studies that professionals like doctors and stuff like that can read in the scientific?
Well, let me give you the longer answer. The answer is we haven't done it because we're still fairly young, mm-hmm. and the product's fairly young, and it costs more money than we have to do the research. That's the first answer. The second answer, though, is there's always a challenge when you get into specific research. For example, let's say that we did a research study as it relates to allergy. Are we doing the research so that we can claim that this technology will cure an allergy? And we aren't interested in going that direction. We don't want to become a medical device. We want to stay a wellness device. And a wellness device is the claim you make, according to FDA regulations, the claim you make is we help people either deal with a known health condition or improve the quality of life. It either mitigates the problem or it helps them deal with the problem. It doesn't cure the problem. And those kinds of claims are almost better made from an anecdotal point of view, where this person had this experience, this person had a similar experience. And so the advantage or the challenge then to a consumer is try it and see if it helps you. And if it doesn't, then cancel, because we make it easy to cancel.
Okay. So you don't want to go the direction of saying that we can cure this and that, and that's why research may be, alleging that, and that's why you're not done that, and you're not also planning to do that into the future.
Well, we may do a study, but it would be more of a quality of life study. Mm-hmm. So we might say take 10,000 people and say, here's a survey and fill this out. Now use Limbic Arc and fill out a follow-up survey, and we score the results. I'm not saying that we're not going to do research, but it won't be research directed in a medical way. We don't want to turn this into a medical device. That's not our objective.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And I imagine maybe in the future we can compile all of these different video testimonials from people and create some amazing, inspiring video for everybody, kind of combining all together. I'm just thinking ahead, like as a marketer a little bit here, because I want to help the company grow, and obviously to put it to more people's hands. As this has the second year, and we want to create $1 billion company and millions of people using it. So we need to find ways and to share this information. So if somebody wants to share it with other people, what will your advice be? How they go about doing that, sharing it with people, their friends, their family, how would they describe, like how would they share? Like they cannot say, okay, go and it will cure your disease or it will heal your this and that. What would be your advice how to share it with other people?
The easiest way is to refer them to the website. And so if I was going to introduce you to it, I would use my affiliate link, and I would send you an invitation, and that would direct you to the website. We have a number of videos there that explain the technology, and we continue to add more. I think that's a good way to do it. And the other way to do it is just to share personal experience, or to introduce them to people who have had personal experiences that might be similar to the kind of help or the kind of lifestyle change they're looking for.
Okay, that's great. And what is the reason why you chose the vehicle of multi-level marketing or network marketing to distribute the message to the masses with this technology, as opposed to going traditional way, more like traditional media, advertising, or TV or something like that? What were your motivation?
The primary reason for that, Vitaly, is because this is such strange technology. It almost requires a person-to-person introduction to get your head around it. And we just felt that direct sales network marketing made more sense than going some other direction.
Got you. Awesome. So for any of you guys who are excited to get started and experience this technology, please refer back to the person who invited you to watch this video, and please ask for more information and guidance on how to get started, how to use it, and definitely guide you in the right direction and put you in the right support circle to help you with everything that you need. And I'm just curious who guys already are super excited to start using this today. Start trying it out today for yourself and see the results and feel the difference. Please let me know in the chat right now. And I would like to take a couple moments for people to ask questions regarding everything that we've said and shared. If people here on the panel have any specific questions, and also people in the audience, this is the time to write down your question, and we'll go over some of these questions right now. There's somebody asking if a person has a pain in a certain part of the body, could this technology help that pain?
Based on the experience of people who are using Limbic Arc, the answer is yes.
Vitaly, I'd like to also comment that because I do a lot of research every day, and I'm finding out that the medical docs and the PhDs are doing a lot of research. Are finding out that people who have pain, that sometimes, unless it's an accident, the pain is most of the time related to microbiome not being balanced. So, for example, they're finding out that there's certain probiotics that are missing, that when you have it, it might relieve a knee pain, for example. So that's the reason why the voice-activated spark scan is so effective, because your body's helped identify what it wants and needs to bring it back into balance, and it might be totally something that's unexpected.
All right, perfect. Let's go to the next question. Will there be homeopathic remedies as well?
We'll be putting some of those in, yes.
Okay, awesome. Somebody asked to clarify, a person without a cellular device can use a desktop PC or a Mac, for example?
Yeah. We're platform agnostic. If you can get to the internet, it will work.
So, for example, have it on more than one device, leave energy and focus on your work computer, and then health sparks on your cellular.
Well, you only have one account, but you can access that account from multiple platforms, and in that account you can run 3 info boosts concurrently. So I hope that clarifies.
Dr. Cook, do you actually have to have the device with you? Like, could I activate it at home and then go on vacation or something and they'll still work? Is it all because
that's correct? Yeah, the device you use to activate your account is insignificant. So if I leave my phone at home, it's no problem. Then I can log in at work on my computer, and I can, change things there as well. So it's your access to your account on the server in the cloud. That's the important thing.
Okay. Will there be an app for dementia or Alzheimer's in the near future?
The answer is we'll probably have an info boost for that at some point. As Ron's mentioned a couple of times, a lot of the issues are they're foundational issues. So you might have a dementia issue that's really a heavy metal issue. And so you might see that heavy metals show up as the information you need, and it may have some effect on dementia. So again, we're not trying to cure dementia, but if somebody's experiencing dementia, we want to improve their quality of life, and that's our objective.
Okay. And by the way, for those of you, again, who are interested to get started, come back to the person who invited you today to this webinar, whether it's by email or social media, wherever you got this message for, come back to the person who invited you. And it's really easy to get started. It's only $100 a month to start using this. It's like an equivalent of $3.33 a day. It is worth more than every penny. I mean, people spend for a dinner or a breakfast more than that in many occasions than to use this. So it's really affordable for everybody. And your health, there is nothing more important than your health. So it's for me, it's really, really cheap, and everybody can do it. Everybody can start using it. Another questions that we have about cardiovascular. Would it unclog arteries? Would it put more oxygen in our system? Would it speed up the blood in our micro vessels, etc.?
Vitaly, could I answer part of that? First of all, many people come to us with various health issues, okay? And so it's kind of like they want us to diagnose and prescribe from. We can't do that. But nevertheless, the information has value. And so what I suggest is there's a lot more illnesses and problems people have than we have formulations. And so although in the future we'll continue to expand and add more and more formulations for various issues, however, here's the best way to handle that. If you don't see a formulation that's specifically for something you're trying to address, the best way to do that is just go ahead and Google that particular illness that you have and ask what natural ingredients are used to help support that particular problem. You'll find out that there's always a list of nutraceuticals associated with that natural ways. Now, what I would do is I would identify those nutraceuticals, go into the library and create your own personal boost to receive that information value. If you don't have all those, that's okay. You don't need 20 if 5 will work. But nevertheless, if we're missing some, you can always turn those into the company, and we can add those to future releases. So, and that's how the inventory is expanding.
Okay, that's great. Esther Ulrich is asking, does it work for moods or even depression? Somebody else asking, a person have depression, will be helpful in what way?
It would help because mood is affected. Let me back up by saying you might want to go to our website. We do some calls on a regular basis. We have one that's called the Call with Dr. Cook, and we talk about the triangle of health and how emotions affect energy, affects function, how all of these things affect, one thing affects everything else. So if you have depression or mood issues, and we can impact you in a positive way from an informational point of view, that will have a spillover effect in the other causes or the other solutions. If your depression is caused by an organic problem, say a brain chemistry problem, it can still be impacted by proper information. And again, you know, we're not in the business of curing depression, but if we can help someone with depression have a better quality of life, that's really what our objective is.
All right, perfect. We have a couple more questions. If I created an account, can I share it with my family?
Yes, we have what's called a family account. And so you create your account for $100 a month, and then you have the possibility to add 5 family members. Those cost $50 each per month.
Okay, so it's half the price, and they can extend
half the price. Yes.
Perfect.
Kelly, I've got 2 people asking me questions privately.
Yeah.
One of them is there any kind of money back guarantee, like say after 7 days or 14 days, if they don't see anything like that happen? I don't know.
The answer to that is no. There's no money back guarantee.
Okay. And the second one is will there ever be a possibility of, like, say, a 7-day or 10-day free trial?
You know, we've thought about that. The challenge with it is it's the sensitivity of the user. I mean, some people turn this on and they feel it just like that. Other people turn it on and it takes maybe 3 weeks before they start to realize, oh my gosh, something's happening.
And that's how I feel about it, but I said I would ask.
Yeah. And so we've hesitated. I don't know that we will for that reason.
Awesome. Yeah, there is some people saying 30-day free trial. But I think it makes perfect sense to do it the way that we are doing it right now. And I also heard that you are planning to accept Bitcoin and maybe pay out Bitcoin in the future.
We're working on that solution right now, Vitaly. So I can't guarantee we will, but it is our desire to be able to do that, and we're working that way.
Awesome. That's what I love, because I'm dealing with a lot of people in this technology, cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, and people love to use it.
Yeah, for
people
sure.
love to get paid in cryptocurrency as well. For the affiliate portion of it, you're also planning to allow that as well?
Planning to which on the affiliate?
You mean if you share with people and get rewards in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency for sharing?
Yeah, and I don't know the answer to that right now because we're so early into exploring it. But the people we're talking to, I believe that if you can take Bitcoin, you can also pay in Bitcoin.
Yeah. Robert is asking, would it be beneficial to people with memory issues?
Well, the nice thing about it is once you turn on the info boost, you don't have to remember. It just operates. But the answer would be, as we've talked about before, Vitaly, and that is, if we can have an information impact, it will have it has an effect, a ripple effect on organic causes of problems, on emotional causes of problems. All of these things are tied into one continuum.
Okay, that's awesome. Let me see. Another question about migraines. Anything that can help migraines?
I believe we've had people who have had headaches and migraines who have received relief from the info boost. Sounds like we're getting some feedback here somewhere.
Ron, I think it's Ron, coming from Ron. So, yeah, I'm muted right now. All good.
Okay.
You said earlier Limbic Arc is getting to CBD oils. Would that be an info boost?
Yeah, well, as we look to add new ingredients, CBD is one of those items that at some point in the future, I'm sure we'll add. I'm not sure how soon, but that's on the list.
Let's see. Can you invest in shares of the company?
No, the company's private, and we plan to keep it that way. The best way to invest would be to become an affiliate and participate in the revenue directly that way.
Okay. And is this technology, can someone copy easily, you know, as far as competition?
I don't, most people don't understand it. You know, we copyright our software. As I mentioned, we're in the process of filing patents as well. So, you know, we hope that it's hard enough to get in to become a competitor, but at the same time, we hope that we pick up momentum fast enough that it doesn't matter.
Okay. There's another question about, is there an info boost for ED? And I guess it's erectile dysfunction.
Yes, that would be probably his info boost. Mm-hmm. So I mean that's where I would start with that one.
Hey guys, this is Ron. I did a conference call a couple weeks ago and created an ED info boost, and I sent it out to people. And it's based on current science of nutraceuticals that have been effective with science behind that. And so I can make it available. On the other new website we'll be creating, you can get stuff like that, but it's not up yet.
Okay. So we would definitely be interested to have your specific formulas, ingredients for different things in your. And I know that you have also on a website like additional boosts, for example, for stop smoking. So is that like can really help people who are addicted to smoking to alleviate that or help in some way?
Yes.
Addictions.
Yeah, it helps with addictions. It can help with people who have. If you want more prosperity, I think we have an info boost called Prosperity. We have one called Resolve that with willpower.
Did you have experience of somebody or people who used to stop smoking and stop smoking?
Ron, have you heard anybody on the stop smoking? I haven't heard anybody directly on that one.
I have not either.
Okay. We'll see then.
Yeah.
I like to ask something, Vitaly. First of all, when in the future you're planning to make the sites and everything multilingual?
We'll work on that as time passes. I think right now, can you click on Google? Does Google translate a lot of websites?
Yeah, because it's very easy. So my second question, which I guess that I know the answer, you know, while I did by myself the info scan, so I thought, oh, should I do it in English or should I tell it in Hebrew?
And it doesn't matter.
It's matter.
It's not language specific.
Yeah, and the tip is to talk about maybe about the issue that you like to solve.
Yeah, so whatever language you're most comfortable with, that's the language you should use.
Yeah, because me and my wife, we did in English, my name.
Okay, yeah.
So you can talk about your specific problem or talk about yourself in your native language. It doesn't have to be
correct. That's right. Yeah, we're not taking the words, we're taking the energy. So it's the energy that's in your voice that actually creates the spark.
So maybe you should even add the Google Translate button inside the web for the non-tech people.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea to let them know that it's,
very easy to use with this.
Bridget is asking, there is 2 people in her family with prostate problems. Could this help?
I would think so.
Mm-hmm.
Vitaly, and one of the conference calls that I've done, I send out, because I do a lot of custom info boosts, and one of them addressed that. And again, that would be on the other site that we're bringing up, but we created that. Now, this isn't what the company has created. These are this is what's been known nutraceutically out in the world that have been effective for helping with that problem. So we just identify the nutraceuticals, share them with people, and they can use them to see if they have benefit from it.
And then from your research, you can tell to Dr. Cook, and he can add it to the library as well.
Right. Yeah, we're always open to suggestions and ideas.
Awesome. I think that we conclude most of the questions. Anything you have, guys, on the panel that you wanted to ask? Let me know. Open the mic. Jamel, you want to ask something?
No, I just lost connection. I'm back.
Okay. So guys, thank you so much, Dr. Cook and everybody. I appreciate all the wealth of information. I appreciate everything you shared, technology, and it's really something that you might hear this right now, and it's until you start to actually use it, for yourself and feel it, experience, it will become much more real for you. And that's what I encourage you to do. And you might not fully understand what we shared about quantum technology here, but most importantly is that how you feel, and how you can really use it and share the message and help your friends, help your family to feel better, to feel more productive, to better sleep, more energy, and just, feel better. That's will summarize it. And I really, really appreciate you taking the time to learn about this, because I can tell you need to be a person with an open mind, to be here, to listen to it, to watch it. And I encourage you guys, we're in the 21st century. We're going to the year 2020 here. Technology is amazing. And the things that we are going to see in the future with the technology in the medicine, in the fields, I think it's just going to get better and improve the quality of our lives. So for this purpose, what we are doing here, what it is worth for Carl, for example, to not feel the pain, it's worth everything, and I just encourage you to try it out, to test it, and to get back to us your results, your experience. We would love to hear your story and your experience and your results with it, and help grow the company. So thank you so much, Dr. Cook, for everything you are doing. I really look forward to build a prosperous relationship with you and with Limbic Arc, and into the future to see how this does become a billion-dollar company.
Great, thanks, Vitaly.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being here, and come back to the person who invited you to this webinar for more information, how to get started. If you do want to share it with others, how all of that works, we are here to help you with anything and any question that you have, always. So if you still have any questions, feel free to reach out, and we'll do our best to answer all of your questions and help you in the best way that we can. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys really soon. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.